We start with describing what has changed about our characters since we last saw them. We've been traveling for a while. We are getting close to the end, though we can't really tell how close. And I've done a couple of side missions. I helped Daxton with something. I helped Ram with something for her sister, which, yes, Ram has a sister. We got to see Ram's home planet and all the giant monsters. That was probably very terrifying for you and Daxton, having to stay back on the ship while there's things large enough to eat Ram in one bite.
I kind of love that.
Yeah, it was a slightly ridiculous planet, but it was very fun.
Yeah.
How is Yohan looking after all the trauma they went through when we tried to blow up steam that one time?
Oh gosh, okay. So I would say it is not that Yohan is particularly happy or giddy, but they're close to figuring something out. They're close to finding something about their faith and themselves that would solve a little problem that they've been fiddling with in the back of their brain for the longest time. And it's always kind of been that push and pull of we didn't save enough and I have to clean up your mess, as opposed to now where you're trying to clean up the mess and now I feel like I might not be enough.
Different flavor of anxiety.
Yeah, it's the fun religious kind of anxiety you only get if you're had a rebellious phase and then come back to it and have to kind of grapple with what that means, because my rebellious phase hurt people in a very tangible way.
In a way that you can still literally feel radiating off of your shoulder, and these emotions that don't always make sense and are sometimes vaguely concerning, especially when those emotions are happy? Not quite happy, but positive. That's weird. Somehow that's worse than the anger, isolation.
Yeah.
That's worse.
It almost feels like when we were back on the ship. Now, obviously, the consequences are more dire and the situation is worse, but it's starting to feel close to it, and I think that is forcing me to grapple with some questions.
For Helena, she seems like she's a lot more at home, but you can tell as time goes on, as the enemy continues to move, as she continues to push harder and harder and harder, that fear is still there. She's not letting it show. It's almost like she's afraid to feel confident, because the last time she felt confident, she got a lot of people killed. So she's been doing a lot of work. She is doing the sleeping and the eating and the hydrating thing, partially because I think Ram would lock her in her room if she wasn't.
This is true.
But she's spending a lot of time just doing everything she can think of to do to make sure whatever's happening works. You have a question, as you have something you need to talk to me about.
I do. Captain, what task am I interrupting?
I think you find Helena in the middle of tinkering with something. We've picked up a lot of odds and ends, and we're trying to save the world on a budget, and Helena doesn't sit still well, especially with all the pressure. So whenever she's not trying to figure out how to fix this with Daxton, she's just fixing things. So maybe it's like a medical unit, or I'll say it's like a shield generator that we picked up somewhere. It's a decently reliable brand, but it's had a bit of a time, so you find Helena just kind of in the middle of tinkering with it. As you approach, and I look up, what about you says that you're distressed and worried?
Normally, Yohan's posture is something that is very deliberate and chosen on purpose. If they are slouching, it is meant as an insult towards whoever is facing them at the moment. They talk with their body as much as they talk with everything else. So when I come in and I'm kind of bouncing on my heels a little bit, and I have a nervous energy about me, that is not normal for Yohan.
So Helena is tinkering, hears you approach, looks up, sees that you're fidgeting, just kind of puts her tools down. Is everything alright?
I've come upon some news, and I know we've had our odds and our conflicts, but if we can solve this, if we have time, I would consider it a great favor. This is not something I ask lightly. It's, I think, very purposefully, I'm asking to see if this is the right call.
I picture she just shifts around a little bit, so she's sitting cross-legged and facing you a little bit more fully, so you can, if you want to join her sitting on the floor, she just looks and says, start from the beginning. And I believe you draw a card.
Yeah.
To describe the mission you need to go on.
Alright. It's 7 of spades, so it's a mission focused on deception, tactics, or seeking truth, and it is a 2 to 10, so I don't know I can do this without you.
I know I can't do this without you, and I tell you how I feel about that.
So, okay.
What does Yohan say as they join Helena sitting crisscross applesauce on the floor next to a partially repaired shield generator?
So I think I sit with you, and I start wringing my hands together. I've given you some indication of my faith, and how it works, and how I, carry the burden of the stories of others, and convey them to people, and what that's cost me. I used to read stories in my training, in my time under tutelage, of a device. I say device, and it makes it sound very fancy and technological. It is a relic, an artifact, something hallowed in our faith, something that can erase a name. Multiple names, in fact. It's meant to be used in last resorts, when the pain of something is too great to bear, or when the pain that I am holding, or the story that I would be holding, would be harmful to others to carry out. It is not something used lightly, and therefore was tucked away somewhere far away. Unfortunately, even if everyone in my faith knew to keep our distance from such a temptation, there are those in the criminal underworld who do not believe such things. It has a distinct side effect of erasing memories, useful to people with that sort of employment.
Oh, my father would love something like that.
Hence why my retrieving it would be both a holy mission that I would want to undertake based on the contacts I found, and something I wouldn't be able to do without you, because I do not have the underworld contacts nor the ability to get close to such a group on my own.
Do you think he's making a move for it?
I think some people of the unscrupulous type already have it, and it belongs to my faith. It is effective as a tool for others, but it has a great deal of weight, and they're using it for convenience and security. It's something that erases stories from people's hearts and minds. One at a time, certainly, but I can't let it languish in the hands of some spacer den of villainy.
Of course not. Do you have any idea where it might be?
Yes. They didn't take it very far from when they found it. It's an old tomb world, one where we buried an entire culture. Not that we did it ourselves. They died of other causes. We entombed an entire civilization there. Multiple, in fact, that's what it's for. If a planet goes, there's no community left to hear the story, so we tell it there. Many of my ilk have been chased out by the gang currently claiming it as their fun little base, but I know where it is. I can point us to it. But it's just you and me. It's too personal on my end for me to invite the whole crew and risk their lives. And I want to believe all those things we've said to each other. I want to put my trust in you and have you help me get this. And I also might need you to stop me, because if I do get it, there is a non-zero chance that I might want to use it on myself. On all of the names. There's too many names.
Helena just nods at this, and when you were talking about how it can be used to remove names, she did look at the shoulder with the red glowing symbols. She just nods. We get the relic. Give the gang some hell on the way out. And I do understand. That is not a decision to be made lightly. But I don't blame you for not wanting to carry that anymore.
That's part of why we only made one. It's too convenient. Last time it was used is because one of us was kept prisoner by a despot, and he forced them to carry that story. A story that hurt people and aggrandized him. Made sense at the time, but might have been a mistake to do it in the first place.
The world is complicated, as are the choices we have to make. Whatever I can do to help, I will help.
Thank you, Captain.
Thank you for trusting me with this.
Awful lot of tension. I kind of despise that. I'll get ready. Thank you again.
Very well. Anytime.
So stage 2 is preparations. We need to prepare for this mission, but I am distracted. So I choose, and you answer. I like we spend time together and you finally see how much time has changed me. Because I think since we started, I've kind of kept up the same affect as when we parted. And there's been a whole span of time where I went back to the faith that I was Lucy on before. So we spend some time together and you finally see how time has changed me.
Yeah, picture there's quite a bit of just we automatically go and sit in that little observation deck with our tea.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I just sit and listen to you talk. Because we established that Helena is familiar with Yohan's faith, like we've talked about it.
Yeah.
I can read some of the symbols.
Mm-hmm.
I do know some things, but they could just sit and listen. But what part of me from the past is gone forever, and what has taken its place? So that's what I answer for you. I think before everything happened on that original journey, the way you looked at the world was simpler. Your understanding of things, while very different from mine and how you approach things being very different from other people due to your upbringing, it was more straightforward in a way. But now, even though, yes, you've gone back and you have reinstilled some of that faith and have a different understanding of it, I would say it's almost like you have a better understanding of the world at large, and it's left you with some conflict.
I really like it because I do think of Yohan as somebody who tried their best to stray and then came right back to it, but after like an immense loss. Right? The kind of thing where you have to turn for it for comfort because everything you trusted it doesn't exist anymore. So I think I kind of decided that Yohan had been not born into the Blue Stella, but raised in the Blue Stella. And it was part of my growing up. So when I left to go on a grand adventure, I was like, oh my god, if anything happens, I'll have the most amazing stories to take home with me. Only to find that they were not the kind of stories that I signed up for.
There's certainly something.
Yeah. And then I punished myself too. I took the time and carved every single name of every person we lost. A number that I made larger when we were kind of creating everything. You were like, that's so many people. And I was like, it would have had to be. And I think that's the other part of it. I think when we experience and engage with loss of life and people, numbers become meaningless after a while. There's a lot of ideas in spiritual practice about you save one person, you save everyone, or you save the world. And I think, initially at least, Yohan took the wrong lesson of I didn't save any of them, so each one is a punishment. So finding out that there's a chance to erase them, I think, is a lot bigger of a temptation than it would be for Yohan in the past or other members of the faith.
Yeah, you're in a tricky situation, and I will say, Helena does not specify whether or not she'll let you use it. In her mind, that's a valid decision, but that's something like, there needs to be conversation. There needs to be conversation and thought before doing that, because also, what if that can't be undone? What if there's some way that we can give them peace?
Right, exactly.
And the red marks will become blue. If we can save those stories, she very much wants to, but she doesn't want to leave Yohan carrying all of that for the rest of their life, especially if they make it out of this alive.
Oh boy. Not to toot my own horn, I played some BioWare games. This feels right up that alley. I was like, oh, I did good here.
Not me being casually obsessed and strongly influenced by Mass Effect.
Stage 3, the away mission. The captain and I leave the ship. I don't believe we take anyone with us. I even explicitly asked. What weapons or equipment do we bring, if any?
We're breaking into a tomb planet to steal a relic, and the tomb planet is currently occupied by a gang of unknown size.
Yes.
I think a lot of what Helena focuses on packing is stuff that can be used for distraction and crowd control, just things that I can throw, we can yeet down the hallway and book it somewhere else if we have to. As well as some, stealth, sneaky stuff. If we have to, break into a room that has people in it to get the relic.
I would say I'm in the same boat. This isn't a group of people that we can defeat as just 2 people. Even if the whole crew came with us, it would not be something tenable. So I think I bring old journals speaking to what the relic looks and sounds and behaves like to be able to identify it. And I don't know if we've ever been in a situation where Yohan has wielded weapons, but they're not exactly against blasters or anything like that. So they do take a small one and some smoke pellets and some things to get out of dodge if bad things happen.
We've got armor and camouflage stuff. I don't think I tell Ram where we're going.
It's fine. We can say it's a brief religious visit that requires my strict, isolated attendance, and that you insisted in coming with.
Yeah, because it's buddy system, safety in numbers.
Of course.
She doesn't need to know, because she's not going to let me go.
Yeah,
alone.
It's fine.
I respect your desire to not have everyone tag along, and I'm like, if Ram tags along, Daxton's kind of want to tag along, and we also might need Ram outside to be distracting.
Yeah,
if we
exactly.
need cover to get the way out.
Yeah.
What do we see as our shuttle flies close to the destination? What does this planet look like?
It is not a planet of hats, this planet, but it is very much a planet post some form of climate catastrophe, likely desertification. Like, this planet is dry riverbeds, cracked earth, sand and wind, and unpredictable occasional storms. It's a Tatooine type, right? Main distinction is that there are massive superstructures on it that look like a humanoid in a fetal position. And they're lying down in the sand. Some of them are completely covered. Some of them are completely exposed. And as we get closer, I explain that through an extensive ritual and construction process, we make one of these. This is only if an entire civilization collapses. So there's probably 20 on the planet total.
That's still a very sad number.
Yeah, it takes centuries to do, and then we put everything we could possibly find about that civilization inside of them. And up until very recently, it was not really useful to anyone to want to go to a desert hellhole with epitaphs to dead civilizations. That's not a useful project for most people. But when a gang of space pirates needed a space to hide out from the law, no one goes here, except for Blue Stella Compact people. And a civilization hasn't died anytime recently, so they've had no reason to.
I imagine there's also certain very official universities where they're history students get access and access it somewhat regularly.
Yeah.
There's currently a lot going on in the world with the enemy has been causing trouble and making bold moves, so it's getting to be war and some panics. There's not a lot of people going to study history.
As we fly close to one, I kind of point. That one, if I recall my studies, is the Penitent of the Flooded Worlds. That was one where there were some seismic shifts in the core world of a civilization that was very well adapted to their environment in saltwater oceans, aquatic species. These shifts released a lot of volcanic gas that poisoned their water from the bottom up. By the time they were able to figure out something, it was too late. They never had a need for space travel. They never had a need to come to the surface. We found one by accident. Probably the last maybe 10 or so of their species. He brought us to his world, and it was... So the stories go, it was harrowing. But that's why you can see a hint of gills on the structure.
I was wondering what those were. I thought perhaps there was storm damage.
No, I mean, the storms are good here at hiding and obscuring. We find it kind of poetic that they're sometimes half buried, sometimes not. We love our poetry in the Blue Stella.
No, really, I never would have guessed.
Alright, settle down, Captain. We're having too much fun now.
She's seen your poetry collection.
No! Yeah, it's fine. I do believe there is one, extensive hate poem about Helena that I've posted on your door, and I just add new stanzas to it whenever you've done something upsetting to me.
That does occasionally randomly show up in different of your favorite poetry books.
I love that idea. It's so deeply passive-aggressive from Yohan.
After that happens, it shows up in one of your favorites. That's also when you notice that they have been slightly rearranged, just enough.
No!
For it's not immediately obvious.
I love it. I love it.
After one of the particularly mean ones, she did arrange it by color.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love the idea of different collections being arranged differently, like the books of Drill tweets. It's like you can get all of Drill's tweets in alphabetical order, or chronologically by post.
Yeah, no, she arranged your entire poetry collection in order of color. All of it.
I think I like how it looks by color. I've never tried organizing by color before. I usually organize by theme. So I think I really enjoy it. It's like, oh, the red ones do go well together.
That drives Helena nuts.
Alright, so I draw 3 cards, and the captain and I take turns describing how the mission goes based on the cards drawn.
Let's see how this goes.
Alright, so 5 of clubs. Or sorry, no, this is a 5 of spades, I should say.
You struggle with the clubs and the spades.
Uh-oh, so spades is not great. One of us is badly wounded. What obvious scar does it leave?
It's Helena that takes the injury as we are getting close, following... Let's say this relic gives off an energy signature or something. There's some way that you're able to start narrowing down where in this giant history museum tomb the relic is. And as we're going, Helena will occasionally stop you and disarm something that the gang left behind. I don't think we've read into any of them by now, but we have seen signs that they have done some work in this building.
I think maybe a trap might go off or something like that.
Yeah, there's the trap. Either she mishandles it or something happens. Something falls or triggers or activates, and it leaves these series of scratches along her shoulder, along her arm, and for drama purposes, in the same spot that you have the red marks.
Ah, that's parallel. I like it.
Actually, I think what happens is she starts to realize that she's not going to be able to fully disarm it, so it's going to activate. But there's not an alarm, so it's fine if it doesn't activate. But also, she doesn't want you to get hit. So you're just looking around, and all of a sudden she shoulder checks you to the ground. And as you look at her, she's just like grabbing her. I'm like, ow.
Oh, goodness. All right, hold on. I reach into our pack and I grab some first aid and I start bandaging it. There are easier ways for us to remain alive that don't involve you getting maimed. I'm pretty sure if you keep this up, Ram is going to make sure I am just as beat up as you are.
Didn't really have a lot of time to react, and I figured I'll be fine.
That remains to be seen, but keep this on. I tighten the fabric after spraying it with like med gel.
Yeah, she is fully cooperative with it. And then we continue onward. Do you think the relic is currently being housed near the head of the building or near the heart?
Oh, that's good. I think it's near the heart. And I think as we get closer to that area, we're getting... Because we enter through the mouth, because that's where the opening is. We're getting closer and closer, and that's, I think, where... And it's kind of like a coiling structure on the inside, so... I think that's where most of the gang is posted up, too.
Yeah, just wandering through the the digestive tract or internal organs. Actually, I don't know if y'all would that, like...
No, it's not anatomically correct in there. It's more so, there's chambers for the heart, there's chambers for the mind, and there's chambers for the soul, which, for a lot of Stella Compact xenobiologists, they believe it resides in the stomach. That remains to be seen. So there's like 3 major chambers there, and then the rest are just kind of spiraling hallways leading to different parts.
Yeah, you could spend days or weeks, but we don't exactly have a lot of time. We're basically like following a little sci-fi compass pointing to the relic.
Yep, and this time you draw a card.
Diamonds.
It goes according to plan, except for one thing. I leave something valuable or irreplaceable behind.
I think you leave something valuable or irreplaceable behind.
Oh, okay.
What do you leave and why?
It's interesting because Yohan is pretty austere. They don't really have much besides their tea set, and they didn't take that with them for obvious reasons. But I think the thing that they end up leaving behind, they keep on them a journal. That's kind of been a long-term source of everything that they've encountered on this mission so far. And it's the kind of thing where, they try to avoid information that would be hazardous for the enemy to find out. But it carries a lot, right? A lot of their feelings, a lot of their understandings of situations that they don't like to share with other people because they can be pretty snippy when they're not in the mood for emotions. And so there's a lot there. And I think, to an extent as well, Yohan was hoping that if they passed, that this journal would be used to help construct their story. So to lose it is to create a very big gap in my own narrative that I'm not super comfortable with. So it's the kind of thing where we're going through a precarious area that has like pits, and I almost slip and fall into one of the pits, and the journal slips out of my bag. And I scramble for it, and I almost fall further until I get dragged back out, and I dust myself off.
You start scrambling, and Helena just immediately grabs you by the collar and starts pulling you back, because I think some of the ground has started to crumple underneath you as you're scrambling, so she pulls you back before you can fall.
Alright, so yeah, as I get dragged back on, having avoided certain death, I guess there were times where I tricked myself into thinking that I didn't care for material possessions. But that was one of the few. Should anything happen to me, one of you all will have to tell the story. I'm now missing a large swath of it, and I could rewrite it, but it won't be the same. Given what's at stake, it feels a little ridiculous to be upset about it. But
we'll come back for it.
When this all is over, and I have a full archaeological team with me, hoping.
We'll get it back. Your story's not going to be forgotten.
Thank you, Captain.
She has like a hand on her shoulder. She knows you're not particularly touchy, but she kind of felt like you needed a little bit of touch, so she's got the hand on the shoulder. Do you need a minute, or are you ready to go on?
No, the longer we stay here, the more likely we draw attention, the worse it gets. We need to get the relic and get out.
Lead the way. Helena's got, a little, skinnier notebook that she's been jotting notes in, so she's got, a little map. I think she, does a little mark near around where it dropped. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but look at you ballparking it around the right part of the building.
Alright, so as we get close, I pulled a King of Hearts, which means we're likely to succeed. Good news.
Hooray!
That's hearts. So I confess my truest feelings to you. Do you accept or deny them? Or I finally leave behind our shared past. Do you let go or hold on?
And that's your question to ask and mine to answer. Those are both real good.
Okay.
Tough.
Yeah. Since these require me doing something before you can answer, I will do that. I think we're right outside the chamber where it's supposed to be. We've managed to avoid detection so far. We've come across the occasional pirate, but they look to be pretty low and thin in numbers. Holding out here has not been working for them. It's not a place that people are meant to live in. It's not sustainable. The symbolism of that is not lost on me.
Nope.
We're at the door, and I stop for a moment before we open it. Captain, I've said some choice words to you. Many. I fear for someone of faith I speak a lot more than I should. Not all of those words good, but I must confess something I find to be devastating. Because I don't know what I'll choose when I go through that door, if the relic is there, if I'll choose to use it. But part of me hoped you'd come back. Not because I wanted to see you and rejoice, but because I wanted to see you see what I had done with the names of everybody we lost, and I wanted to hurt you with it. I wanted to use my faith like a blunt instrument to make you feel pain. And despite being taught my whole life to keep stories and hold true, I misused what I believe in for petty vengeance on you. And you don't deserve that. My anger is mine. It's not theirs. And I think that's the part that hurts it the most, is I'm permanently marked by them. I punished myself to punish you. You may think me more cruel than you used to because of this, and I would not deny you that. But you deserve to know that it was cruelty. There was no righteousness in it. It was petty, and something I would have done when I was much younger under your command.
We went through something horrible together. I dragged you into hell with a promise that I wasn't able to keep. You're forgiven. Completely. I deserve some of that anger, but I don't want to see it consume you. I want to see you have a full, happy, very sarcastic life.
I thank you for that, Captain.
I'll do whatever I have to do to make you see, to get you to the other side of this.
Sometimes I feel like that's more than I deserve.
Good thing you don't get to choose what I do.
That's never been under my purview anyways, and I push the door open, and inside is a crystal vase with a lid on it, like an ancient Greek amphora almost. I didn't expect it to be quite like... We didn't bring any cups.
Does it need to be drunk from, or...?
Yes, I would appear so.
First things first, perhaps get it off planet and then decide what to do
Right,
with it.
right, yes, I just never seen it. No one ever bothered to draw it or explain its mechanics, just its significance. It feels so simple. And a little on the nose. Drink to forget?
Helena does chuckle at that. Sometimes profound things come in simple packages. If you need a minute to process whatever's going on in that weird head of yours, you can take a moment. I think we've got a few minutes before we're in danger of getting shot at again.
Okay. Captain, you got me this far, and I take your word to heart. If you think there's something you should do, or that I should do, you can tell me now. But I do ask that whatever choice I make, you wait outside.
I just don't want you to look back and regret whatever the choice is.
I think I needed to hear that more than I did anything else. Thank you.
I support whatever you choose. You know yourself better than I do.
I'll see you on the other side then.
Gives a simple nod. Puts a little trap near the other door just in case someone comes in and then steps outside.
Yep.
Might steal some of the gang stuff that they left behind, but she leaves you the space and time you need to make this decision.
So I think I'm there for like a solid 2-3 minutes. I'm staring at it. I pull out like a tin cup that I carry in my travel bag, and I set it in front of the amphora. And I look at my shoulder, and I look at all the names, and I start doing some math in my head. Well, based on the legends, it's a sip is all it takes, but there's a whole lot of you, and they're all screaming. I'd be here for a long time. No. It can't be like this. Even if you were made in cruelty, you deserve to be remembered. Besides, pretty sure if I forgot all of you, I'd start being downright sweet to the captain, and that would be... disgusting.
So weird.
Because they're like built out of spite. If they forget everything about each of those names, they would default back to like many years ago when they were under your command. So I think that hits them all at once. Like, I can't redeem your stories. I don't know if I can guarantee it. I might die with your names burning on my skin. But I'd rather it be your names than none. Now what to do with you? I kind of pace back and forth in front of the amphora. You are a...
Oh, I thought we were taking it with us.
Do you want to take it with us?
Okay, continue. Helena's fully under the impression that your goal is to come here and get
to like take it back to the temple. Yeah, no, and I was like,
yeah.
To do with you. You were left here for a reason. You were meant to hide a very painful mistake. Although it's kind of unfair. You were forced to take that story. I can't just leave you here. And you're very important to my faith. But you're awfully out of date, aren't you? We don't forget anymore. I think this existing is probably worse for the wear.
Yeeted into the sun.
I think for a minute, and I think back to when I first joined the crew, and I had just fired like a blaster for the first time. I didn't even hit anybody. Like, I'd broken a chunk of like stone and it sprayed everywhere. And after I'd fired and the smoke cleared and I hadn't helped in the firefight at all, I think for a minute and I look at everyone and I go, they're very short stories with these, but they matter all the same. And everyone's like, you need to stop. You need to actually know how to use one of those. And there was a lot of boos at that. I think your story has been long enough. Relic of forgetting? You've outlived your usefulness. And I take out my blaster, and I fire it directly in the center. You just hear an echoing blaster shot and shattering pottery.
After you do that, you turn around, you do see Helena's peeking in the door just because she heard a blaster shot.
Ah, yes, hi. Did a lot of soul searching. Turns out the answer was inside me the whole time, in that I remembered something young and stupid, and I did it. So maybe there's a little bit of me with childlike wonder still left in there. I think we've done a great job here, Captain. If anybody asks, bandits beat us to it. Fought amongst themselves.
We did what we came to do.
Right. We made sure it didn't fall into the wrong hands.
Exactly.
Light sacrilege notwithstanding, but...
You know, I'm not going to tell anyone.
Yeah,
no
I
one
mean,
would believe me if I did.
Yeah, and,
Also, we should go. I'm pretty sure someone else probably
Right, I
heard
just
that.
fired a really loud echoing blaster shot into the in the heart chamber that connects to all the other Yeah, we should run. We should move.
And we just sprint down and don't run into any trouble on the way, but
We got it royal. So the mission was a success. I think in terms of how does it go off better than hoped? I don't think Yohan has the energy to carry that pain or that like hate anymore. I think rather than forgetting, I just needed to accept it.
Yeah, it helped you work through some stuff. I think it was a bit cathartic for Helena too. And a strong reminder of if we fail, no one's gonna be left to do this for us. And how does it inspire the rest of the crew? I think the how is something in the change in their dynamic between Helena and Yohan, and also how Yohan operates.
I think Yohan now is a lot more willing to engage with the captain. It's not like we're happy and having a good time, but it is not like, oh, your plans suck and they're gonna get us killed. It's general, like, respect for your command. I'm still gonna be sarcastic, I'm still gonna be awful to you, given the opportunity, but when you ask me to do something, I do it. No questions asked.
It's a lot more friendly snark than the caustic, spite-filled snark. And Helena gives it right back.
Yeah.
And I think something in that maybe inspires the others a little bit. We buried the hatchet. And I think Helena is also a little glad you didn't get rid of the names, because she was worried you'd regret it.
Yeah.
It was absolutely your call, and she would have backed whatever play you made. She didn't expect you to shoot it, but she still backs that play, and as far as anyone's ever going to be concerned, we never found it, just
Never
to eat the
found
scrap
it.
metal.
Just lost somewhere, yeah.
So, for the debriefing, just the two of us as we are leaving this tomb planet and going back to trying to save the world.
It's just you and me now, Captain. And I think with this, I, in a rare show of force, kind of admit that I was wrong. That you mean it this time. That this isn't a game where you're out of your depth. This is something you plan to do or die trying. Not just because we have no choice, but because we have to. It's just us. So, I think Yohan, afterwards, we're having tea again. And I look you very deadly serious, and I go, I've messaged the Stella Compact. They haven't heard from me in a little bit. Exceedingly worried. I told them I visited the Tomb Worlds for meditation, and the Relic of Forgetting was missing. But I gave them my story. As much of it as I could remember. Start to finish. You don't do that before you die, unless you know you're going to die, or there's a high chance. Or if you trust whatever you're going to do next will be important. So that's all of them for me. You lead, I follow. If you get us killed, I won't even be complaining about you at the end.
You not complaining? Wow, I thought all the hells would freeze over first. Oh wait, no, one of them is actually frozen. It does mean a lot that you believe in me. When you say it like that, I can almost believe that we stand a chance of finishing this.
If not us, who else?
Mr. Krill's is dumb enough to sail off into the void to go after something that is a hive mind alien consciousness.
Well, our chances of forgetting about it are gone anyway, so.
That's true. She doesn't say it, but I think you could probably tell just, like, from the look on her face that she is kind of, she's proud of the decision you made.
And I think as we're getting settled, I'm sure you meant no harm by it, Captain, but the Blue Stella Compact does not believe in eternal punishment, so I'm going to have to meditate for your story to correct its course and become one where you are more mindful of other people's beliefs. Are you feeling the correct level of guilt, or should I lay it on a little more?
She's not even looking at you, and she just, like, rude gesture.
Yeah, no, it's just, just like, smirk is forming, and the T is covering the smirk as they go, and then I think we fade after that.
Yeah, rude gesture, you lean into it more. Rude gesture with the other hand.
Oh no, your story will really take a hit from this.
And now comes the moment.
Oh boy, okay, it's fine.
Right or left?
Left. That's black. Loyalty regained.
Loyalty is regained, so this goes to your deck. This was my card, though.
Oh no! Okay, it's fine.
2 of hearts.
It's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
What does this regained loyalty look like?
We really covered it, so it's good that I gained this at the end. Where Ram was probably your most loyal, and I was ready to duck out if anything went wrong, I think I am not at Ram's level, but at that same of, I have to protect this crew no matter what.
You have to make sure the story's not forgotten.
I have everyone's story, like, preloaded and set to jettison out into somewhere, if we should fall. And I think I finally have the confidence to be ready to say that.
You're ready to face an end that you never thought was coming, and then you got faced with very, very brutally in the form of 160-something people.
Woo!
And for the enemy growing stronger... So I'll say, we have done quite a bit of growing the capital E enemy to be stronger, but I think perhaps a twist is someone recovers your journal.
Oh.
The notebook you dropped.
That's not good.
And while it doesn't contain specific details, there's enough in there that if Jasper gets a hold of it, he'll know.
Oh no! Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
I don't think the gang was a Veil gang, but I think they might have been affiliated, so there's a chance.
Oh,
and there were some people who might have seen us, so eventually he will find out that I'm still alive.
Well, I guess we just gotta live with it.
In the meantime, Helena and Yohan are just sassing off the kid.
Yeah.
Just having a sass off, just being the snarkiest.
It's a lot of fun.
As we see to the people in the gang trying to figure out if there's any value that can be got from the information in that book that might be able to help get them somewhere safe.